Welcome everyone to today's Crypto and Stocks TA live stream. Today is October 5th, 2021. It is about 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, New York time here in the United States. And we're going to go over crypto for about half hour and then stocks for about a half hour. I'll try to go faster today. So if anybody has any requests in the chat, go ahead and type the crypto ticker or stock ticker, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, before we get to Bitcoin, is we have to look at the total crypto market cap index here generated on TradingView. So what we're going to do is just start fresh. I'm on a daily chart here. And what I do want to point out is we have this overhead resistance level at 2.4 trillion and 2.35 trillion. So I'm going to put that as a yellow box. Our resistance above here. Okay. So there's our resistance line in the sand right there of total. What is interesting to note, and again, the crypto total market cap is basically the entire crypto index combined in dollar value. So it's the market cap. It's different than just looking at a Bitcoin chart, and it's important to keep an eye on this because as we get closer and closer to the resistance, the yellow bar up here, we're going to have to watch out for that because two scenarios can happen. Let's say if we rally up into the resistance zone, if we start making some wicks on candles, meaning, some sticks for a few days, just like here, that'll be problematic. This is a news catalyst, sell the news event, the El Salvador news sell-off event. But if we start rallying up to here and we start getting some candle wicks, weakness, resistance, 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 maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a row, then we could see a rejection down from that. That's one scenario. So we could get bullish continuation, and we'll dig deeper into the price to explain why this happened in the past 24 hours. But just keeping that big picture, okay? So if the target is 2.37 to 2.4 trillion dollars in the price, just this yellow bar here is, the question is, are we going to break through it in the next month, couple weeks, next month, 1 to 3 months, or not? That's the question. So a bullish, very bullish case scenario, would we break through that, retest, and continue to make higher highs just like this here? If not, we might reject from it one more time, or at least hesitate there. Might hesitate there, neutral scenario, or we might literally just reject down from there. So again, the longer term potential setup that I was saying, and I don't really like to call these too much because it hasn't happened yet. But if it ends up happening, if we do end up making a head and shoulder, upside down head and shoulders pattern, that'll be confirming this bullish continuation. But that has not happened yet, so I'm not really going to call that yet. Just potential. Because we could just break through and just keep going. So just want to watch out for that, okay? Because this chart looks not the same. It's not the exact same as the Bitcoin chart because it includes altcoins. So before we even get to Bitcoin, let's look at futures. All right, so we have to understand Bitcoin futures traded on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange here in the USA, CME, are one of the reasons why we've been rallying for 4 days straight. Okay, because there's a relationship here, is that every single Thursday, Friday, Monday, Tuesday, there has been some bullish, I shouldn't say bullish, but positive sentiment about Bitcoin and crypto in the United States. Again, today the SEC chairman said that USA will not be banning crypto or Bitcoin like China did. So that's positive. That's great for the United States. That's why you see people on Wall Street, just in that last 30, 15 minutes of trading, you got this last attempt pump on the futures chart. And now the futures is closed now. So we did see, I'm looking at my other screen right here, that the price did slow down a little bit. Okay, so we have to understand that relationship of it's not just retail people buying this up, it's big money. You can't hear me. Okay, my microphone volume seems fine. Visually, try clicking the sound icon or raising the volume icon on TradingView. On TradingView stream. Sometimes that happens. My mic looks like it's totally maxed out right here. So if anyone else can't hear me, go ahead and yes. Okay. So some people you just have to click your stream on the bottom left and then unmute it and then turn it all the way up. Okay. So keep in mind the futures chart is slightly different than the actual total on the Bitcoin chart because futures closes for the day. So we're going to see for the next 3 days from now how far are we going to rally up because at some point we are going to get a pullback. Okay, so if someone didn't get an entry down here on the double bottom or here, okay, here is a little bit where we are right now is a little bit more risky because you're at a resistance zone. Down here was better because we're at support. Remember that support? The 4 hour chart we're looking at 4 times, okay, or the pattern break right here. But now we are at resistance by definition. So a bull trying to buy resistance, okay, is there's higher risk because we have not seen a significant pullback because when we start getting gaps up like here, we might once we see some topping out candles, right, we'll get a little bit of a pullback. It's not going to crash, but it'll pull back. Okay, so that's what I'm watching for next. Resistance test on futures, base essentially layman's terms, how far can we push the price up before the Jenga tower tumbles a little bit and we pull back on the price? Because at a certain point, all technical indicators will read we're too high in the price, and day traders and swing traders are just going to sell. Bots and algorithms are just going to sell. We might pull back to a certain spot. This is textbook trading. Okay, it doesn't have to go like this. Because crypto, we could just go green for 5 days straight. It's possible. But if we look at the past history, once we have some pretty strong rallies, we might pull back and then might get some continuation. So that's what I'm looking for. Basically, the higher high in the price zone. Somewhere here, we're going to stop. Somewhere here, we're going to stop, pull back, and probably move like that in the price. So I want to watch out for that. Okay, we'll go to Bitcoin and we'll do some requests. Let's see here. Do Bitcoin on Binance. BTC USDT. Okay, so this is a perfect example of lower risk trade is what I'm saying. Is here on the double bottom support 40,000, which I kept calling on my stream, is this is the support that we're most likely going to test 40,000, 39,000. I think I said that 3 streams in a row. So we established that support level. And even when we drilled down in the price, I was telling people several streams ago, okay, that this cluster, I call it a price cluster right here, even just up to September 30, I call this BART pattern, dirty upside down head and shoulders, triple bottom support. And I was talking specifically about this blue circle and the two ways to play this circle in the price, the consolidation here before we explode it up. So the 2 ways, what I was saying, just quick review, is that if we have a breakout up, the price will most likely do this, right? We had a very small intraday pullback inside of here, right? You see that there's like 1 candle of red for 1 hour. So we still got it. And then we consolidated and then had another breakout to the upside. So if that did not happen, I was expecting maybe another halfway pullback or another pullback down, and anywhere in this zone would be okay to buy. If somebody is aggressive bull or like a swing trader. So now where are we? We had these 2 resistance and support levels, these 2 resistance on the top. like this and support on the bottom. So even if you don't want to draw those lines, now it's trending by definition. So we just draw the trend line. Trending. We are trending on Bitcoin. You can also put up some EMAs, right? We're just riding the EMAs. So any EMA support could be a interesting entry spot with a larger stop loss. But at the moment, why did we go up? Well, we after my stream, we kept building momentum into the Asia session last night, and then we had one big pullback, and then that's where people sold off and bought right here. So the rally started yesterday, yesterday evening. It looks like so, and then definitely this morning, Wall Street got really really happy about this because you even saw that if you're trading today, the headline flashed the Bank of America quote of even saying crypto is too large to be ignored, right? And then all of a sudden after that pumped up, then we got some aggressive buying, bulls longing this on Wall Street and Chicago futures. So one thing to also notice is that basically on every single time frame we're golden crossed up. So on daily, golden cross up. Okay, we're not golden cross down anymore. Death cross is golden cross up. Daily, 4 hour golden cross up. 1 hour golden cross up. 15-minute golden cross up. 5 minute golden cross up. And a 1 minute golden cross up. So 6 time frames are golden cross up. Okay, so we probably are not going to crash unless something fundamentally extremely bad happens with the news. But the SEC kept telling us 4 days in a row they're not going to ban crypto, they're not going to ban Bitcoin. So it makes sense why we all of a sudden rallied 10%, 20% in 4 days. So people might be wondering, what do we do now? Okay, so if somebody missed out on the move, don't FOMO too hard. Wait for a pullback. Wait for a pullback because a pullback setup down is forming. How do I know this? Because we're getting close to a resistance zone. Okay, so everyone knows that's the target, obviously 53,000. Then on 4 hour, we are in this overbought territory in the RSI, although that's not always the end of the move. We are losing a little bit of momentum, but in this particular case, it doesn't matter because we are trending golden cross. Okay, it's different if we were death crossed because once we lose momentum on death cross, we're going to pull back down. But when we're up crossed, it means when we lose momentum is we're going to pull back down to EMA support. That doesn't mean we're going to crash like that. So I would, if someone's looking for a next entry, and again this is just educational, is waiting for the next pullback on a shorter term front time frame. So our 15-minute, okay, we are in this overbought. All right, there's no MACD histogram momentum up right now. There's momentum down right now. So in the next 3-4 hours, probably we'll pull back right down to 50,000, 54,000, 53, maybe even 50 if it pulls back hard to this 50 EMA. And then the Asia session will take over, and day traders will most likely probably buy it as well. Try to test this resistance up here at 52.5. Okay. If we do end up getting, so that's the bullish scenario, continuation, just multi-day session continuation, where we get small consolidation pullbacks to EMA support and pump, and each session keeps trying to go higher. We are golden crossed up. That's very good. So if we pull back to 50,500, then I'm presuming, again, day trader is going to try to buy that, long that. The bear case scenario is for some whatever reason, somebody decides to sell a huge order position like a whale or a baby whale out there, and we pull back to 200 EMA support, so 50,000 or 47,000. If we have some weird flash crash or something, definitely people are going to end up buying that. Okay, let's move on. If anybody has any crypto or stock requests, please let me know in the live chat. All right, here we go. We got two here. We got COTI and we got BlackBerry on Toronto Stock Exchange. Here we go. COTI. Right. First thing I would do was zoom out first on COTI. Very first thing is just check other charts to make sure you have the best data. So I'll just use a Binance chart, but the KuCoin chart actually has more data. So let's use KuCoin because it has more data. This is important. If you're missing this left side, it's harder to do TA because this is the whole uh, resistance side here. Okay, so COTI in a monthly uptrend, but you see here right at the resistance zone of $1.16 was this previous all-time high on the coin listing according to KuCoin chart. Although we're in a monthly uptrend, that's good. Just a little bit of monthly consolidation starting. All right, so on a weekly chart, you can see here, very, very strong, powerful weekly trend line. Weekly trend line, you box this in, and now we see why we rejected from right there. Exactly. The bots and algos know this, or the analysts, they know right when it gets there, maybe someone's going to take some profit right at 60, 61 cents. Okay, so let's look at two scenarios now that we have our framework. These are very obvious trend lines. And you can also, if you want support levels, just Fibonacci this entire thing. Fibonacci the low to high. I'm going to get off a log chart. Now, actually, I'll stay on a log chart. So this is a very kind of a secret trend line on log chart. You don't see it on a regular chart. So if you look at a logarithmic chart, you'll see this. All right, so the all-time high of 110, 116 is up here. It'll be interesting because Bitcoin's rallying. All right, if we just have a small pullback down to support 50 cents, 45 cents, and this might attempt to rally and break out to the upside. How do we know this? We're golden crossed up. So when Bitcoin golden crosses up, meaning EMAs cross up and altcoins cross up, that means we are trending, we are uptrending. Okay, so right, somebody's saying, okay, Bitcoin's going to 30K. Well, it's a long way down to 30K, right? There's a bunch of support down. We already tested 40K. We already had some very bearish news, and we just had some very bullish news in America. So we would need something extremely bad to happen for Bitcoin to go to this, right? Okay, so let's finish COTI first. We can come back to that question comment. So COTI, I'll just keep an eye on the intraday charts as well. 4 hour still uptrending, right? We're getting some bullish momentum building on the MACD. Okay, so it's just a matter of where's this going to pull back down to the price? Where are we going to pull back down to on the price before we pump up again, rally up again? We did have a 1 hour oversold, just barely touched that. Okay, that's where we got this 10% pump. But COTI right now, if you draw a 1 hour trend line that we're stuck right now like this on a downward sloping consolidation channel. So what needs to happen, COTIs need to break out 53, pull back to 50 and retest 55 to 60 cents. So it's interesting to see that COTI is actually not as correlated with Bitcoin at this moment in time because Bitcoin rallied and COTI did not yet. So COTI obviously not the top 10 or top 20 most popular market cap crypto. That's why. But that's also something to distinction to make is that if only Bitcoin goes up and not every single altcoin goes up, okay, you could know that it's bigger money. It's more like Wall Street money, more like Chicago Mercantile Exchange money. They can't touch altcoins. They can only touch Bitcoin. So it's larger money players coming to this market. So we might have a delayed reaction on COTI like a week or two from now. But right now, it's just consolidating and there's not as much bullish momentum as Bitcoin, although it's building. So you might have to wait a little bit for it to happen because Bitcoin needs to keep rallying then this MACD momentum just started turning green. So maybe 3 days from now, 5 days from now, even a day from now, we might start to see this happen again. If not, we'll pull back down to 45 or 40 cents. Okay, BlackBerry on the Toronto Exchange, EB. Okay, so what happened, I was saying to somebody last time who requested BlackBerry is BlackBerry is a meme stock. So you have to be aware of what's happening with GameStop and AMC, GameStop, GME and AMC. And what happened is there was a support attempt, but because of what happened with like Evergrande and the stock market crash, this support level here at 1263 did not hold, and so we pulled back. But I did mark it as that is the support level, and that's the zone that we got stuck at in the blue line. So before there was this larger symmetrical triangle, I would take that off at this point because we have a different price structure now. It's this one now, more intermediate. You can even draw it like this. That's probably more accurate. You can draw one more, but that might price might flake around, move around. So this is the more accurate triangle that we're dealing with, almost like a descending triangle. So the measure move on this 15%, but it's going to take a long time. When BlackBerry goes, it needs GameStop and AMC to go. It's like an altcoin. I consider BlackBerry like an altcoin. So big GME is like Bitcoin. AMC is like Ethereum to me. That's just how I mentally process it. And so BlackBerry is like, kind of like your Litecoin. So, you need Bitcoin and you need GME and AMC to move up and BlackBerry will follow. So it is double bottom. You have that going. That's good news for that. But you don't see such large MACD momentum as here. It's kind of not as powerful. 4 hour, yes, it's building. And we do have a higher low on the R side. That's good. We did double bottom, right? So maybe it might pop eventually. Okay. And we do have to take a quick look at SPY as well, because if SPY, like basically S&P 500 and the TSX, they both need a rally up. GME needs to rally, and then this will just follow in suit. Right now, as long as we hold the support of 1178, it's probably fine for BlackBerry. But then if we lose 1178 and crash down to like 1150, and we keep downtrending, that's bad. Right? So this one, we might need a little bit of patience on BlackBerry because it's not the leader of the meme stocks. There is something building though. Might take some time. Could take a month actually. Could take a couple days or weeks or a month. Another way to figure this out is just Fibonacci the latest move, and we are holding above the 786, generally speaking. So if this does bounce up, pop up, it could go to 13. If it's going to crash down, pull back down, it could go down to like 1150. So I'll mark that for next time. So bullish target, our bearish target on the downside. Okay, try to keep going here. Hopefully that helps everyone. CRV and Atom. CRV BTC, I'm going to use Binance Exchange. CRV Bitcoin. All right, so now that we're doing Bitcoin pairings, it's even more important to always understand the larger picture of Bitcoin and total, because now we're doing actual crypto pairings. So this to me looks like a consolidation pattern. You can see it on the chart right away. Is CRV is not in a super uptrend. It is consolidating like that to the side. It's in a equilibrium triangle. You have that going for it. So nice, right? But September over here, just by definition, this trend line was here for a long time. This trend line was here since July, August, September. So anyone really wanting to long this would have longed it right here. But that's okay. And it got sold off here and pulled back down. Now it's up. But again, CRV, Bitcoin, Asia has not had a chance yet to really react to the Bitcoin moves of today. So that's why on altcoins, it's going to be up to Asia session and then Europe session to really see if we're going to continue the rally into the altcoins or not. Meaning, will the whole market move up or not? Is it just Bitcoin this time or not? So, in the beginning. All right. We do a little baby Fibonacci here. Okay. Hit the 50% to the 236 and pulling back. I would. If you just want some easy support levels, just do this Fibonacci, and you can see now that it's just stuck between the 50% and this relative 382 level. It could be a larger consolidation, meaning this. And if Bitcoin and all altcoins go up, then okay, the bullish target would be, I'm just going to call it a number, 6869, 6900. So the 236 would be that relative target. For bulls, bear target would be 5041. And the trend line down here, like 4705. So to check the momentum is just check the price. Look at like a 4 hours. See if this thing's got momentum. Not really. At the moment on 4 hour. 1 hour is building. 15 minutes building as well. So, and there is this interesting kind of upside down head and shoulders on the RSI in 15 minutes. So I think day traders might be interested in this one, in this coin. But again, all eyes on Bitcoin and Ethereum right now in the market. So it is at a relative support level. Yeah, we're trying to build a case here for this coin. So let's say if somebody does do this, educational speaking, trade, then with like 2%. And another quick pro tip is using the average true range to figure out, okay, on a day chart, what's the average range of the move up or down on any given day. So the average, that's not really a perfect explanation, but it's you take a certain time period and you average the price, and this is how much it moves plus or minus every day. So that's how you help set a stop loss. Nice tip there. So 589 is the one-to-one ATR move, 589. So now that we have that number, 589 is a lot. That means this thing can move 10% in a given period of time. So just understand that. Like even if you put like a 2% stop loss, the ATR is saying is 10% on a daily chart. The hourly ATR is different. It's about 100. So that would make sense. Just about where I had it, 2%, just visually. So if somebody's going to try to do this, 2%, day trader, 4%, right? Or a 3%, 6% with moderate amount of capital. And then you just let go of the trade, put a stop loss. Put it in red, put a stop loss, just mentally have a take profit target, or if you could do OC order on someone's exchange, right? And then you just mentally let go, and you have to keep track of it. So that's how I play that. But again, it's just if you zoom out on a daily chart, though, it's like in the middle here. So we need some strong bull action for this to continue up. Okay, Atom BTC. Okay, Atom's different though because it had a significant run up already and has been pulling back down. So you'll notice that Atom at this moment in time, Bitcoin's up like 10% in 2 days, and Atom's down 10% in 2 days. So the correlation is not there. It's always been a generally inverse correlation. All right. So how would we do this one? Well, for me, I like Fibonacci, so I get my easy support levels like this on this Binance chart. And I'm on a logarithmic chart as well. So we had that 50% retrace pulling back down. I'm going to turn it off. The resistance. Even before you do Fibonacci, I recommend doing support and resistance. So it's at a relative support level on this left side. Okay, you can see here, left side, another support, another support. I'll just leave it like that. There's a support way down here. Okay. I would rather Fibonacci the most recent move because that's what traders are probably staring at right now on the screens. So put your trend line up and you see here, okay, that's the target. X marks the spot, the 50% and this right here. So 6812. 6812 would be textbook target because that's the trendline support. But because this has rallied so far up, we might not get a significant bounce on Atom because psychologically what happens in crypto is once something runs up a lot, sells off, people are just mentally done with that coin. They're going to move on to the next one, move on to the next coin. Although it's crypto, so never say never. It might stop here at 6712, maybe pierce down a little bit if there's some bad news or Bitcoin pullback, and somebody might try to buy the bounce, right? But if that fails, then the next level down is 5752, the support cluster, and maybe 4382. So the earliest long, somewhere in this zone, 7,000 to 6,700, like that. Educational only, you could target like a 5 to 10%. Do something like that with a moderate amount of capital, educational only, just because of that trendline support. Just so what you don't want to do is like try to long in the outer space like that. That's why people get destroyed as traders. Bulls. You don't want to long in outer space and keep chasing it down because then a trader would have 5 losing trades in a row. When the more experienced thing to do is, okay, if the trend line's down here and it's downtrending on a shorter time frame, I'll just wait for it. Set my ordered way down here or put my alarm on my trading view alarm. So, but we have to look at some momentum. Okay, 4-hour oversold. Let me take this ATR off. 4-hour oversold. Okay. 1-hour oversold. Okay. 15-minute bounce. All right. So that means traders are already watching this bots and algos. It might not hit this bottom 6739 right away because if it's already oversold, bots might try to catch that and pump it back up. Then shorts will have to close their position. We might get a little bounce here. But you do see this downtrending, right? So the lower low might have been set. So we might get a lower high next 24 hours just because of this setup right here. But I was giving you a longer term picture. So you might want to watch that zone. Okay. Next, Cardano, 4 hours, H4. All right. So going to erase all that from last time. All right. Just really quick, I want us to understand the big picture. Monthly, okay, we did start some monthly consolidation last month. Weekly, okay, we did start some of that weekly consolidation. Understand that Cardano at the beginning of the March 2020 was 2 cents. And now it's $2. It's 7,000% up. Absolutely beautiful. That's why people love crypto trading. Okay, but you could draw this longer term weekly trend line. So in a very bearish case scenario, there's plenty of support down for Cardano, although it's probably not going to crash all the way down. But just give you a visual, there's that much open space for a trend line. But there's a shorter term daily trend line right here. So it's right touching that. Resistance on top, $3. Support on bottom, $1. So the average, $2, which is our support. I'm on a log chart, by the way. Got our EMAs. Okay, EMA up cross, and looks like we're getting some consolidation in the middle there. Okay, daily, just like Bitcoin, momentum building, but the intraday is the key for the price. Intraday, or you said 4 hours. Okay, so 4 hours is under this resistance, right? That's why we have to understand the 3 time frames, right? Weekly, we're up in the outer space, just pulling back from an all-time high, I should say. Daily, we're consolidating above 100 EMA and 50 EMA. 4 hours, we're under the 200 EMA, and the price is, let me turn the EMAs off so you could draw a pattern, right? This is one reason why we broke out, okay? Just like that. So now you box that price in. Immediate resistance 233, immediate support 216. And it is tightening. You see here, it was downtrending, higher low, higher lower high, higher low. So it's tightening just this last right here. So we can measure this move once it's tightening, plus or minus 10% from the breakout. 10% up would be 245. 10% down from a breakout spot approximately would be probably $2. So it's going to go plus or minus 20 cents. And how we can even determine is it really going to go up or not is then we start looking intraday for clues. So the clue now is the RSI is not oversold, right? This 15 minute is we could get a little bit more pump attempt, right? But the level of value, the lower place of value was already right here, just 8 hours ago, right before the Bitcoin rally started. So you could see here that Cardano is more correlated to Bitcoin than every other altcoin that we've been talking about. It's been tracking Bitcoin carefully. So Cardano, I would watch Bitcoin very carefully. So two scenarios, if you're wondering now what. So two scenarios is if we do get a pullback, okay. Well, I should start with the first one because we're about to start the Asia session in 2 hours from now. So if people in the Asia session start buying this thing, then the obvious resistance is like 227 right above here, right there, the price cluster. Okay, so let's pretend, let's say if we rally up and maybe we try to hit this resistance zone, right? Because the RSI might like to go a little higher, might try one attempt. If it fails, then we're going to start pulling back to maybe 220 like that. So if someone's trying to long this, again, you wait for, if you're patient, wait for a pullback in your time zone and then try to long that. Because we know Bitcoin is uptrending on every single time frame. It's just a matter of when it pulls back, how far is it going to pull back before the next session is going to pick it up and try to run up higher and test the resistance on the upside. So that logic applies to Cardano. So if this rally fails, then we're probably going to pull back to like 221. Get an RSI reset. Next spots, next day traders will try to buy it again and try it one more time to rally. So that's what I'll watch out for. Anywhere above 221 support. Okay, does anybody have any more requests before I hop over to S&P 500 just to explain what's going on there? All right, let's go to SPY. Let's start with let's start NASDAQ actually. All right, so NASDAQ. What's happening? If people are wondering, like, why are we flip-flopping all over the place? Because you have to understand, with stocks and crypto, it's a lot about emotions and psychology. So, in other words, if something bad happens with news or fundamentals or announcements that are official and legitimate, that's bearish in the short term, right? So on Sunday, there's the Facebook whistleblower um, news segment for 60 minutes, and basically that Facebook, is prioritizing profits over morality, and so, excuse me, that's bearish. And so we had that tech sell-off led by Facebook, okay? And but what the problem is that all right, we did get oversold, and so what I literally called this in yesterday's stream, 24 hours ago, that since we're oversold, we have momentum. In my stream, I said on Sunday in my Discord that we're going to get a support test first and then a lower high test. So what does that mean? We're going to drop down and then go up. And that's exactly what happened. So what you need to watch out for if anyone's doing stocks now is it's not just because we have one green day does not mean that the downtrend is over. We have to realize that we're still in a confirmed downtrend, but it's at a better level of value support. So now the question is okay, if we bounce, how hard are we going to bounce and how long are we going to bounce for? So you can see we have a death cross here on a 4-hour chart. That's bad. That has not happened since May of this year and September, October of last year. So if we do get a bounce on these tech stocks led by Apple, a bull case scenario would be 363 right here. Bounce. Okay. Any of these EMAs target 359. Very simple. And we are finding rest right above the, this is my 12 EMA. So on a 4-hour. And we don't want to get too confident about this because it could rally. That's what I was saying. We could rally into try to test one of these EMAs. But again, it's downtrending. So 3, 4, 5 days from now, the story might change because we hit this resistance and all of a sudden we get a little bit more bearish news and sentiment and we might fall and pull back down. So it's not fully over for the downtrend. how the downtrend is going to end is we need to have a very, very definite higher high, higher low trend, uptrend reversal to get out of here into an uptrend and right into earnings. All right, so that's QQQ. Just keep in mind that longer term setup. And we'll go to SPY. Let's have my notes. So we'll go to SPX. SPX. Here we go. So SPX, the good thing on the dailies, we did get this double bottom just like Bitcoin. And I was saying yesterday, Bitcoin can sometimes be a leading sentiment indicator because we already double bottom and bounced up on Bitcoin for 4 days. And then finally, S&P is finally getting some of this bullish momentum. So the setup here is, okay, if we have this double bottom here, can measure it 1.3%. If we get bull follow through for the next couple of days, we'll be testing the 4413 zone, which is still a lower high, still a downtrend. So this is all lining up in the cards here for the setup right here. You see, there's an obvious target right there. If we manage to get to it, so bulls need to keep coming in the market and buying. There is 4 hour momentum, 1 hour momentum, a little bit, but we just hit that double top at the end of the day here and pulled back. So I'm not getting too super excited about that. Bears are still in control, and bulls need to push the follow through, so to put pressure on the bears so they give up. But it's in a confirmed downtrend, so it's going to be a little bit of a battle this week in stocks. Okay, next Dow Jones. Talked about this yesterday as well. Is it's nice to always see one green bar tick on the MACD momentum. Very nice. Oh, this is not that news. So Dow Jones. Okay, I retract what I'm saying. That was SJI. That's not DJI. So DJI. I always want to double check our ticker. We do have this upside down head and shoulders here, which is good. It's good. It just might take like a month or two to play out. So to me, mentally, this is lining up with earnings season, because earnings season is going to start in about 3 weeks from now. Q3 earnings in the stock market, the last couple of weeks of October. And so it would be interesting if we do have this short-term short right here, and then in earnings, we're gonna have to have good earnings. So what I'm basically saying is the Federal Reserve is like timing this perfectly. They know, so smart, is that earnings, they're leaving it up to earnings to see if the earnings of America corporations can keep our stock market alive or not. It's all timing and coming together perfectly if you understand kind of the general plan that they're doing. They're going to let earnings start and see, okay, how the financials are going to do, and then how the tech is going to do, like Amazon, Apple, the first like 2 weeks of earnings. Then they're going to adjust then their tapering program starts in November, and then they're going to just adjust after what happens in that market there. So now that we know that's kind of on the cards, on the table, to me, all right, is this a double bottom? Could be, because we have this upside down head and shoulders here. Double bottom. There's two double bottoms here, okay? So if we measure this, the first baby double bottom, 1.5%. The second one is 3%. So there's a 1.5 to 3% up or down move in Dow Jones for the next month. So if we go bullish, the top target is 35.4K. Up here. And our first target would be 34.8K right here. Then the reverse is true. If earnings are bad, then support is 3379 and 330 support. But because we did have this upside down head and shoulders, for technical analysis, this is important. It's not always going to work, but it's important. Also, we had the President Biden speech just 1 hour ago, and this whole week is about manufacturing, oil, and unemployment numbers. So that's why I put that on my Discord list. That's the narrative of the week, and that's what everyone's talking about this week. So I'll watch out for that. Okay. I know people do Forex, so we'll just do a quick little glance at gold and oil, like usual. Okay, so gold, what happened is we set our two immediate resistance and support targets, and we have to kind of go intraday here. So we had that triangle, and we did have this little pullback and a bounce up to where I marked on the chart. Why? Because the previous level of resistance stands. You've had a little bit of momentum building on this 1 hour, the 15 minute. So that's what I was saying to whoever requested last time. We might get a little bounce up, and we did. Now the question is, okay, is this going to continue uptrending or not? Right, little consolidation is fine. That's normal. That's just day traders selling. And are we going to retest higher? 1766, 1772? Definitely possible. So I'd watch for that. If not, falling back to 1750 is definitely possible. Right here. All right, take a little glance at U.S. oil because if you guys, if you didn't know, there's a basically a global energy shortage that's been starting. That's been happening for like a whole year now on oil, natural gas, coal, electricity. So when the short supply, like there's less of a commodity, the price will go up. That same logic applies to Bitcoin. China banned Bitcoin, Bitcoin becomes more rare, the price will probably go up. And then our government, the SEC, is saying we're not banning Bitcoin in USA, so the price is definitely going up in that short term. USO is the same way. Is there's oil's a scarcer commodity, had some good bullish news, technical setup, and we're rallying. So the target is this gap fill 57.66 on the top. The longer, much longer term target is like 60 62 for oil. But this was a better area of support because this trend line was here, existed for 365 days, this target, right? You could erase this, just connect these two lines, this pivot point, and this was always here. This was always here on USO ETF. So anybody who really wanted to long that, the best spot, this is just the educational lesson, would have been down here, right here. You get oversold and it's trendline support. Put some risk on right there, $46 oil ETF. If not, though, there was the upside down head and shoulders that I was calling out for a couple times on the stream here. That if somebody maybe wanted to do this, would be something like that. And they're already up in the money. You could actually measure this 10%, and we went 10%. So this pattern came true. The 20% target would be our gap fill 61. So it's definitely possible, but I'm gonna watch for some pullback because we had a pullback here. This is our last chance, September 21, to try to get in this right here. Just a quick educational lesson there. Natural gas also having the energy shortage supply problem. Um, Last week, the new Bloomberg was really talking about it, that Asia countries, European countries, they're really trying to outbid and bid up the price of UN gas, not UNG, but natural gas. That's why the price is going up. So now it becomes when something's trending, you kind of can't just stare at the day chart. You got to go in to the intraday 24-hour charts. And if you just realize every pullback's just been a rally. So this is kind of like the lesson on trending. When it's trending, even though the RSI is flipping around, is the support levels are more likely to hold. So that's why when somebody says Bitcoin may be going down, is well, it needs to prove it to me on the price chart first, right? Because for natural gas, somebody could call it down here, like we're going to crash back down to here. Possible. But then we need to see that the trend change reversal on the shorter term time frames. We need to see the domino effect first happen. So unless natural gas is going to pull back down to like $19, is right, I can expect this day traders to try to pump this up a little bit higher. Day traders always try to get, they try to get that last bit of that setup. They need their 1, 2, 3%, right? And the swing traders say, okay, I'm already up in the money, X percent. I'm gonna sell now, and then stop losses get hit, and so that's psychology. And people can short this too. UNG, very easy, liquid. All right. So That's UNG. One thing I do want to point out. Okay, here's a lesson on FOMO. This is a stock. CEI. CEI. We've been talking about this for a couple times now in the stream here. Camber Energy became our meme stock. I'm gonna erase some of these lines. Became our meme stock, and this is why we don't want to have FOMO. Literally, look at this chart. When we're talking about CEI, we're talking about like right here on this day. I think it was like September 30th, right here. So when I looked at it again, it's the top of CEI, the move. And when something goes up like this is what I say. I think I said verbatim something like when a stock moves up a lot, high percentage, and there's no fundamental news to hold it and sustain it, we will crash down. And 3 days later, lo and behold, this happens. This is why we do not want to have FOMO, or we at least want to have a very, very tightly defined plan of entry, exit, and stop loss. Right? If somebody's a day trader, they're probably only doing 1 or 2% stop loss. But for swing trader, maybe 5%, right? And if somebody's trying to swing trade this all the way down, is they got destroyed today. This thing got circuit breaker. I don't know how many times I was watching this today. Negative 50% down in one day. That's why you don't want to FOMO. Don't FOMO. It's a big lesson here. This can happen on any crypto. Once it gets too high, right? How do you know it's too high? It's just floating in the sky. That's why I like to call it. It's just, we'll take a quick aside here. This is going to be the educational segment. It's like physics. It's like nature. If you throw something into the air, gravity happens. You throw something into air, it's going to lose momentum. Gravity takes over and it's going to fall back down. Equal energy. Right? So same thing. If you just think about the ocean has waves back and forth. Up wave, down wave. You throw something into the air, it goes up, it's going to come down eventually. Bitcoin's the same way. Stocks are the same way. When it's too overextended, this is way too high. There's nothing justifying the price being up here other than people trying to make money in the markets. It's a train wreck waiting to be happened. It's a shipwreck waiting to be happened. And then shorts take over. Hedge funds, institutions, this is their A plus shorting setup to make tons of money for their hedge fund and their shorting account. Boom, shorted down, negative 50% in one day. One day. Crypto's the same way. Altcoins. That's why you want to be a little careful of some of the smaller altcoins that don't have much volume. If you want something just a little bit more reliable, what the top 10 or top 20 coins have way more volume in them than coin number 100 or coin number 200 down on the list. So CEI, the only thing going for this, okay, and I kind of don't want to make people FOMO, so I'm not going to talk about this one that much, but the retrace play. All right, so we did hit our we hit our 786 zone, right? We have to look intraday. So obviously we're going to be oversold. Wait for my data here. But it's not super oversold, right? You want a mega oversold on this before you can see the bounce. 1 hour is oversold, 15 minutes. Okay, but be very careful of something like this, right? We might see a bounce. Okay, we're seeing this high low. Okay, maybe you might see a bounce, but again, want to be very careful on stocks like this. I'm just showing this as an example, is because I know somebody out there, hopefully it's not you, somebody FOMO'd in, saw CEI, like, oh man, CEI is up 155 or 200%. CEI is going to go to $10. You always see those price calls on the chat rooms, right? On the FOMO chat rooms, on the meme chat rooms. Somebody just has some crazy target up here. But that's why I don't like to give such huge price targets, because if you just look at the chart right here, I don't need any more information. Double top on RSI, this thing is done. One piece of information, double top RSI, that's resistance on the RSI. This thing is done for now. 4 hours, you see the double top. Losing momentum the past couple of days, this thing's done. That's why somebody knew today, oh, this is the big short. Boom, they're down. 1 hour, we're losing momentum, bleeding out on this for 3 days straight. That's why support and resistance is very important. The line in the sand was $3. I don't know if you can see that. $3. And it's downtrending for 3 days. So then it's a descending triangle pattern, literally descending triangle pattern, measurable. 20 to 40% downside to 50% downside. And then what happened when we lost the support at 6 o'clock in the morning? Negative 50%. So technical analysis works if people understand how to use it. We need the knowledge and skills to do it well. Right? So also there's a trend line here that's broken. There's just so many signals to me that this thing was going to crash. That's why I didn't touch CEI for like 5 days. Okay, double top. Okay, someone's wondering about double top. Well, double top, double top. What does that double top mean? So we have to understand RSI is derived from the price. It's calculated from the price. MACD is also calculated from the price. So even more important than the RSI is, do we understand what a double top is on the price? Right? And this is like chart patterns, price patterns 101. Is support and resistance is the most important of technical analysis, in my opinion. Price is the ultimate indicator. Okay, so this is not really a perfect example, but here we go. This is what I'm going to draw. So let's say something comes up like this and is looking like that on the chart, like we came up like that. The blue is the price, right? You have your support and you have your resistance level, your resistance up here and the support on the bottom. So double top means you tested, it's a formation, a double top, meaning that two mountains more or less about the same price, but it's this, the psychology of it is you're hitting a resistance ceiling and you cannot go higher than it. And then you pull back down. So the opposite is true when you have a double bottom, right? So that double top and double bottom is like, you know, one of the most important chart patterns besides like triangles and stuff. So once you kind of understand that, okay, you can have a double top on the price and see it reject down and pull. It's like, this doesn't mean it's going to crash down to zero. It just means that once you have that double top in these two spots, it's rejected from that resistance and we're coming down. So that would also apply to RSI. Is if you look at the RSI, where's the resistance? Right there, right there. Resistance right here. And then we tested it the second time, and that's always a danger zone. Does that make sense now? Does that make sense? So even if you don't know, if you didn't even know what a RSI double top was for momentum, right? If you look on the inside price, and if you didn't know it, let's just turn every single indicator off. Let me just erase everything here. I can't erase it because it's 14 lines, but even if you didn't know what RSI double top is you're having head and shoulders here. This is another chart pattern. Head and shoulders, measurable, bearish pattern. Negative 40 to negative 60%, so 50% to the downside. So anybody doing charting this properly knew we're about to get negative 50% to downside on CEI. And whoever did this is probably an institution. I mean, it looks like overnight. So it's like Europe and Asia traders are looking at this and like, oh, yeah, we're going to go down. And then America picked up and said, oh, we're really going down. And they shorted this thing down a lot pre-market. So, okay, if somebody didn't even know there's what head and shoulders is, it's just you tested 337, 390, $4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And so it's the concept of resistance. How many times do we get stuck here? Because if it was going to go higher, this price should have broke out here, retested this, and continued higher. But it did not go higher. See that? Did not go higher. It got rejected, rejected, and then final rejection. So we might see some more selling tomorrow on CEI, and eventually it's going to bounce because short's got to close their position. But this stock is too risky for beginners. I would not recommend beginners to try to trade this. So RSI double top is nothing secret. It's just you could use technical analysis on the RSI. So how else could I have known if I didn't understand double top? Is you draw a trend line right here. You lose that trend line, game over. CEI. We lost the trend line 2 days ago. We lost it on Friday. Monday, below. So anyone sensitive to this would be like one MACD histogram weakness. I'm gone. I'm out of this trade. If I was up in the money, you want to get out before this huge move. So you can use support and resistance and trend on RSI because RSI is basically like a line chart if you think about it. So it's a line chart of momentum. So right here on this left side, you could draw a trend line here and be like, oh, we're hitting this triple top resistance. And where's that? Boom, right here. It's almost the top here and then right before the crash. So this is like how technical analysis really, really works on almost everything. You could draw it here, right here. You have the breakdown. This is another chart pattern setup. Just pretend this is like the price. Boom, you have a breakdown here. Where's that? That's the beginning of the bearish move right here, February 24th, and you lost, and then we lost it. So all I needed to know was this from experience. Ooh, double top RSI. You could also measure this, 39% down. No, it's not showing me the measurement. We went 40% down. So you literally use, this might be a little too advanced for people, but that's how you use technical analysis on other indicators. You could do it. I wouldn't get too obsessed about it though. Like if you're hearing this for the first time, don't get too obsessed about it. Is master the price first. Master technical analysis of the price before you try to um, master the other indicators. My RSI is just default. It's literally default. The only thing I changed is I took the background color off. So I'll put up brand new RSI. Looks exactly the same. It's the default. All I do is it's the 14 period regular. I just take the background off so I can see it better on my screen. Right? I don't like the purple background because the line is purple itself. And then I just make it bigger. I make it fatter, the line. Not fatter, but larger width so I could see it. And I change the color. And that's it. I just leave it alone. That's how I've done it for years. Once I figured out that's how I like how RSI looks, that's all I do. So it's default. Almost all my indicators are default. My EMA crosses, I just change the colors and the width so I could see it better. Those are on public. That's on the public library. Pivots is public. Pivots high low is public. Volume, I change the color. Price, I change the color. Background, I change the color to black. MACD, I change the colors just so I could see it better. I like high contrast when because like when you're trying to day trade at like 6 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the morning, I like stuff to pop out at me. I don't like to have to squint to see anything. It's like I pull up on the chart, boom, double top RSI. That's bad. And how can we know this? Like let's replay. Let me see. We could replay. Bar replay. Right there. So what I'm doing is I'm rewinding the chart to September 28th, which I believe was like last Wednesday or Thursday. So even on this day, if you understand technical analysis, so you put all the tools together, candle patterns, volume, a few indicators, okay? Even if you just don't turn anything off here, if you study Japanese candlesticks, which is what this is, and everybody needs to know what candlesticks are if you're trying to do technical analysis, is this is a textbook shooting star bearish reversal pattern. One candle right there, September 29th. Once that closed on CEI, the chances of this being game over for CEI goes way higher than 50%. To me, this is like a 60, 70, 80% chance this is the end of CEI rally. Because when you have something go up 40% and then crash down, that's that last minute FOMO meme day trader rally, I like to call it. So now you have that. Then what I would do is, okay, well, we're already up in outer space and our trend bounce, we got this bounce. Okay, so this is our higher high. Okay, I understand that. And then maybe I'll pull open. Actually, even if you don't have these indicators and you don't use it, the suite package is then you start looking inside. Start looking inside the price, like, 4 hours. This trade's right at that trend line support. So my logic, I would say, if we lose trend line, we lose 350, we lose $3, this thing's done. This is how day traders think, or swing traders, right? Technical analysis. 1 hour, losing momentum, not good. This thing's consolidating to the side, right? What I would do is, okay, if we don't, 355 is our line in the sand. This is how I do the TA, technical analysis, 4 days ago, right? BTC is what I'm saying. BTC is still going, right? Because again, Asia is going to wake up and they're going to see, oh my gosh, 52,000 Bitcoin, beautiful. And they're going to try to jump in on their whatever support happens. So what I'm saying right now is important for Bitcoin too, because at a certain point, Bitcoin is going to get too overbought. It's going to get too high. And this exact setup is going to play out again. You're going to have a trend line and it's going to consolidate to the side. And then we might have a support. If it breaks down support, you're going to get pulled back down on Bitcoin. Same thing. This is textbook technical analysis if you studied it, if you studied, if you had knowledge and skills. So all the warning signs were there, and let's replay this thing. Then what happened on 4? Boom, first day. Okay, down, up. The battle between the Bulls and the Bears. Then boom. Okay, so once we lost 355, my line in the sand. Okay, we have a problem. Momentum's fading down on CEI. Pre-market. Oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, we're done today. Definitely done. All right. So anyone sensitive to charts saw those warning signs. So I want to spend a lot of time on that because technical analysis is not just about one indicator. It's not just about the RSI or the MACD or EMAs or anything like that you could think of. All the hundreds of indicators on TradingView, they're all useful, but to me, they're just they're almost like secondary tools. What we need to master for technical analyst charts is the price. Become a master of price and volume. And then the indicators, you'll find all of a sudden the indicators start to make way more sense. And it helps confirm the price technical analysis. Because we have to realize every single indicator is derived from the price and volume. Mostly from the price, though. So that we must become masters of analyzing the price. All right, let's come back to Bitcoin. We're done a little educational lesson there. All right, so Bitcoin, it's always good to look at Bitcoin. If you're a swing trader, every 4 hours. If you're a day trader, every 1 hour, 15-minute, 5-minute, not every minute, but 15-minute, 1 hour if you're a day trader, 5 minutes. Swing trader, 15, 1 hour, 4 hour. Investor, daily, weekly. So you're wondering, why are we rallying? Why? Well, on the day we have this momentum building. So we are in the overbought zone, but that does not mean the rally's over because we have this little MACD histogram momentum building, and we just bounced off our pivot point trendline support 1.5 days ago. Our hourly still going up. So again, that's why you notice me, I don't like to make hard and fast long-term calls because it's crypto. Anything's possible. I just give two scenarios, and which way the price starts leaning towards, that's the bias. That's the play. So here, if we look very carefully, we do have some MACD momentum building since this morning on a 15-minute chart, another intermediate. trend line. We established this pivot point. We do have to realize though, we're just riding this EMA. So any EMA support is probably going to be your best friend right now if you're a day trader. Traders love this situation. Swing traders and day traders, they love what's happening right now because when you up cross on every single time frame, that means almost every support might be okay. Right? It's just that we have to don't get too obsessed about shorter term time frames because again, any bearish signal on the day chart will start our rally down. So it's obvious we're going to test 53,000 in the next 1 or 2 days. Very obvious. It's our first line in the sand, resistance. Our second resistance, 60,000. 55, right in there, in the middle there. 55. The measure move, though, of analyzing price turned everything off. Okay, we have our double bottom here. It was 10%. Do we hit 10%? Oh, yes, we did. 2 times the target, so 20% would be 54. That's our target. Swing traders know this. Right there. Swing traders know this. So we had some people sell their position here, right? Just because resistance, there's a hesitation. Like I was saying, the scenario was if we broke back down, okay, it's upside down, head and shoulders. If not, we're rallying up right to here. It's not a surprise. It's forecastable 4 days ago. Right, our two targets, 53 or 45. Right, but our immediate support right now is 50,000. Now we broke above 50. Whenever we break above a psychological, we need to see bull follow through. Okay, bulls need to keep buying this, meaning day traders need to keep trading their setups, their support setups. Swing traders need to get in at whatever relative points of support and value and try to keep this alive. Keep this alive. That's what bulls do. Keep the momentum alive. And why I don't think we're going down to 30,000 just yet is because we tested this multiple times, 40,000. If we're going to 30,000, right, this needs to stop immediately and on every single time frame, domino effect down and start downtrending, right? But the charts is not telling me that at this day on this particular point in time. So is Bitcoin, crypto likes to rally. When crypto rallies, it rallies. Right. In a worst case scenario, I would say in a worst case, okay, yeah, we could crash down. But in a bad case, we could come down like 45 or 47. Those are the more, or 48. Those are the more reasonable support levels to the downside because those are EMA support on the downside. These three levels. So what I would highly recommend is instead of just calling out price targets, because that's what a lot of people like to do, of like, oh, Bitcoin 50 or Bitcoin 55 or 60, is where's the setup? If you're not in Bitcoin right now, where's the next buy you are going to buy? Pre-plan the trade. Pre-plan it. Where are you going to buy? Where are we going to buy? So 15-minute, 1 hour. All right. The next pullback, right? The concept of buy the dip. Where would the dip be? 50,000. First dip. Second dip, 49. Third dip, 48. We could pull back down to harder EMA, which is 48,000, right? So then really aggressive bulls, they're going to start cascading their orders in. Large hedge funds, institutions, they're just going to start stacking their orders on downside and maybe put a little bit of orders here, right? This is what big institutions do and bots. They stack their orders. They don't just buy in one spot. They stack their orders. So we're going up cross. Just bringing the Bollinger Band just so we have a general idea. I think we're riding that upward Bollinger Band. One thing to note though, on the 1 hour, again, the difference between yesterday and today, just because we're up yesterday doesn't always mean we're going to go forever, is we had this building this whole time for 3 days. The final dump down and boom, inexperienced trader and algorithm programmed is like, I'm going to buy right there. And they're up almost 10% on the day. Here though, we are starting to see some momentum fading on the 1 hour. So eventually, I'm probably maybe 1, 2, 3 days from now, We might continue to rally on Bitcoin, but the momentum will start to fade. So then we'll start to get our next pullback down to 50 probably. The only way that gets negated is every single person in the world in the next 24, 48 hours who's like a trader just buys. That's happened before last year, right? We just buy it up. So I would start if you're not in Bitcoin right now or altcoins, just start preparing for your next trades. Just do the work, do the technical analysis, and figure out, okay, the two scenarios. If we come down, where am I going to buy? Probably 50,000. 50,000. And then position size and risk management. Okay. You might want to bring up an ATR for this one, right? Helps with the stop loss levels. Okay, $500 on an hour for a 1-to-1 ATR move. That's only 1%. So, okay, we'll go 2 times the ATR. We'll do 2%. Then you set your target at 4%. And then you set your stop loss or you take profit depending on what exchange you are. And then you emotionally let go of the trade. That's swing trading. Disciplined swing trading right there. Or day trading, I should say. Swing trading is different. Swing traders would have gotten in most likely over here, down here. They're already up 20% on their money. So, but day traders, if you're just trying to play the buy the dip strategy, okay, yeah, that's perfectly fine. And the 2% might be a little close though, but there's that reasonable risk because 50,000 is now our line in the sand for bulls. We bulls need to hold 50,000, defend it with our accounts, right? That's what bulls do, or the algos, I should say, the market makers, the big whales are going to try to defend 50,000 now. The only problem is we are seeing a little bit of signs, maybe a short term top, right? Asia's waking up in like 1 or 2 hours from now, and then we have the candle body close in 2 hours from now, the daily candle close. So I watch for those two things. Is if we start to lose a bit of momentum, yeah, 50,000, 51,000, just somewhere right here. Somebody wants to try to long that for the next couple multi-day session. But understand that we are at this resistance inflection point. Like we are longing at resistance because we already had our breakout play here yesterday night and this morning of the two orange lines. So we broke out here. Somebody could have used the same logic: 2% down, stop loss. Buy here, let it go 4%. They already hit their target as we speak. So just remember that the resistance is 53 right here. So now we're playing between 50,000 and 53,000. Those are our two levels. All right, just to future-proof the stream a little bit, let me just do a quick rundown of some cryptos. Let's see what else is moving. And I'm not looking at every single crypto on my list. I'm gonna make a new list for the future streams, but let's just take a glance at like an hourly, okay? It's a good middle point ground for all the types of traders out there. So I'm looking at Bitcoin right now. Again, Bitcoin, I just turn everything off. And we know we have a resistance point here. All right, so let's go down. Next one, Maker. Maker, again, at the resistance zone. And is this upside down and shoulders? Maybe. Maybe. Kind of dirty, but bullish target would be 2926 up here. If it's not, there's obviously a trend line support. So then our pullback down would be 2481. Very simple, like that. Very deep bearish would be 2219 down here. So play between these three levels on Maker. Ethereum. Ethereum is kind of our leader here. And we see this setup that was on Bitcoin is you have this consolidation wedge. Very, very high experienced value traders would have bought this here. Aggressive breakout traders would have bought this right here. And now we're just playing the uptrend. So we're seeking our higher high, obviously, in the price, our upstairs. So somewhere here, wherever this is going to stop and then pull back down. So that would be a bull's next chance on support. Depends on what type. There's some breakout traders out there. Then basically every breakout, just try it with a tight stop loss. But People who like value traders, we need to wait for the next pullback. Right? So we are literally the target for Ethereum is 3655 on the top and then 3970. And then our immediate support is the price cluster we just created. Anything above 32 is our support. Next, cash. Very nice. Bitcoin Cash. So this was nicely defeated. The head and shoulders failed and boom, rallied up. So that's why sometimes technical patterns they don't always work. Don't always work. But if this is our longer term consolidation, yep, looks like our higher high needs to be set somewhere here in the resistance zone of the 600. So 600, 610, 620, this is the resistance for Bitcoin Cash. The support is 577. Notice here though, we don't have that much strong support on the way down to 577. Okay, it just went straight up. So, but that's something you want to watch out for. Because the last time we went straight up on October 3rd, right? We then hit a resistance point to the left, consolidated, and then pull back down. So, yep, you see that? There's plenty of room to come down, like 588. So, want to watch out for that support and resistance. Binance Coin next. Binance Coin. First thing, at a resistance zone. We just actually broke through it and we had some trouble there, but we just tried to break through it. So, I'm talking about 439. 439. Next target resistance, 453, 468. Those targets, 500, 480, 500. Right, these are all our resistance targets on the top side because you have this big zone. Also, there was that previous double top there just visually. All right, so we have our trend line, a very tight trend line. In this particular case, you probably have to go intraday, like 15-minute. Okay, we had this consolidation triangle. See that? Ascending triangle, breakout, retest, and now it's stuck double topped right here. So what needs to happen with this Binance coin needs to just pummel through to 453. That's what needs to happen. These are textbook standard price patterns and setups that's happening in this market right now. Textbook, excuse the audio, my mic. It's textbook right here. Any experienced trader knows, ooh, this is 15-minute support, and we have our resistance, so we're going to break out, pull back, and then try to break out again. Happens all the time. So if we does break out, 453 is the target. If it doesn't, it's going to fall back down, and that's actually going to double top with a 2% breakdown, which could bring us down to 423. So our lower support is 430, 423. Resistance, 452, 467. Comp is different. Comp's been downtrending, possibly on some maybe bearish fundamentals. I don't really trade comp personally that much, but because it does this, it's not really as hot as crypto. But when it breaks out, it's probably going to break out eventually if the Bitcoin rally is real, right? You have this downward sloping wedge, and it's almost like a dirty upside down head and shoulders. So, okay, it's just a matter of time. If comp's going to break out, this might happen, retest, and up. So the measure move is 12%. Longer term, I'm talking about like a month from now, 2-3 months from now, 392. It's more of a swing trading play. But we need to see this break out and establish like that, and then it'll establish like a trend line support like that. If not, you could fail back down to 262. Those are the longer term levels. Litecoin. Litecoin. All right, so what I was doing last time I drew this is the support, 162. So once we bounce off that support, heading towards resistance, obviously right here at 175, we're stuck there right now. And just trying to break through because Bitcoin is trying to break through 52,000, 53,000 tonight. So same thing applies. Is our resistance of 192 on the top side. This could be a setup like that. It's possible. Turn the ATR off. But it's all dependent on Bitcoin right now. If Bitcoin all of a sudden stops and reverses tomorrow, like Chicago traders and New York traders say, oh, we're done and we're going to short it down, you might see a quick reversal down. You can kind of see this loose consolidation pattern. It's almost like a little, yeah, this little wedge forming. So two things going to happen: bull case, breakout, retest up. If not, rejection down, probably halfway to 168. That's what I watch for on Litecoin. Yash. Okay, at this point, everything's kind of looking the same. So I'm not going to draw on every single coin. It's just resistance at 189, resistance at 189, 200, support at 168. Those are the bigger levels that you're playing with. This is not really a pure upside down head and shoulders, but the psychology is there. We maintain the higher low, boom, higher low, so then a higher high is in order. Next, Zcash. Same deal. You could draw a. I'm keeping on line charts, make it easy for people to see. Bounced off this trendline support right here to the resistance zone. So next resistance is 127, 132. Support 117. Next coin, EGLD. It's kind of getting crazy and messy, so I'll just erase. EGLD is different. Consolidation to the side. Right here. EGLD is different. And again, EGLD already had its like monumental run 2 times, 3 times. The El Salvador new sell-off. That's beautiful. 80%. Come on, swing traders. That's what swing traders dream of every night. So, boom, pulling back down here at pivot point. Ooh, another beautiful 30% and another 20%. But understand that EGLD is at the top of this resistance zone here. So two levels on EGLD. Resistance breakout above 253 might happen. Then the next resistance 300. If not, pull back down to 215. Right? You're playing the triangle right now. Another move is going to happen on EGLD, but it's consolidating here. So it could stop here and go up. We just saw that happen on Bitcoin, literally on a 15-minute chart a couple of days ago. So I'll watch EGLD. And this is what I'm saying. We're kind of pre-planning for the trade. If it breaks above 250, most likely it's going to 280, 300. If it breaks below 235 support, then most likely going down to 215. This is how we pre-plan trades. Get ahead of the crowd. Zen. This is kind of like a little bit of upside down head and shoulders. Very interesting. Okay, so if this is a very long-term setup, but if we break this resistance, going to $95, most likely, bull scenario. The inverse is also true. If it fails, going down to $63. So those are the two bigger levels, and the intermediate levels inflection point right where we're at, 74. Watch for that on Zen. We draw a trend line here for extra security, right? If you lose that trend line, just like CEI, then there's a problem. Yellow flag. But if we don't, we bounce up, then all this resistance on the left side is the price target. Next, Ethereum Classic. So what I need to point out though is that I'm not just grabbing random price stuff, is I'm putting everything I've learned together into one analysis. Because I've done charts, crypto and stocks every single day for years and years on end. That's why I could just do it this fast without the use of indicators that much. Okay, just from experience. The bigger thing to know here is not, oh, just zooming on this one price, is I'm with my eyes, I'm looking at the trend. We were uptrending this side. You guys see that? We were uptrending the big pivot points. Uptrending, uptrending. Then we downtrended right here on the El Salvador Sell the News event. This is downtrending. But the difference of what's happening right now is we might be making a trend reversal. We might be witnessing the trend reversal right now on some of these coins. How do I know this? Because trend theory, okay, this is our lower high still, but we established a very tight, quick higher low. That's the difference this time. If we're going to keep downtrending, this should have fell down like that over the next 2 weeks. So this is the trend reversal test on every single coin right now, including Bitcoin. If we hold this and go up like that and pull back down, then we have definite trend reversal on the 1 hour, 4 hour daily. If it keeps doing that, on a 15-minute 1 hour, it's already trend reversal. So we have a half uptrend. Everything's also upcrossed on Bitcoin. It's only a matter of time of, do we see the follow through, and then when are we going to pull back? we're gonna pull back. So overhead resistance on Ethereum Classic, 59, $60. Very simple. Keep it simple. So we don't have any, no fear, no anger, no sadness, no FOMO. Like if somebody's like, I missed this, I missed it. It's okay. It's okay. If this is a real trend reversal, there's plenty of gains to be had here. It's just you have to get ready for it, pre-plan it. What's your entry? For example, I'm not just saying calling out numbers, is where are we going to, if somebody's long, you have to figure out where is a good area of relative value on stocks and crypto that is a support level. Okay, this is not really support. It would be smarter down here. Example. Okay, we hit the support 3 times at $44. Interesting. Interesting. There is a triangle setup here. Interesting. It's textbook right here. If we don't crash down to support, then it's most likely going to go the other way. So then somebody pre-planned this trade. All right, put my stop loss below here, 6% below these candle wicks, and my target would be 2 times minimum. And then I'm gonna put my stop loss here, 44.78 or lower, and then I'm gonna just wait for this trade. And if somebody did that disciplined trading, they're up in the money right now, 16%. Hopefully not all in, but on a medium-sized position where you understand worst case scenario, you might lose. Let's say if there's a $10,000 position, worst case scenario, you're losing 6%, $600, $700. But the upside would be you're trying to make $1,000 or $1,200, right? So that's how somebody would pre-plan the trade as a very short-term swing trader. Day traders are zoomed in way closer. Futures scalpers, they're trying to scalp their 1-2 base% for significant profits over time. Excuse me, not significant, but scalping profits over time. All right, Neo, seeking out our higher high on Neo. It's the same deal. I'll just draw the trend line visually. So you'll notice that I am not, maximum zoomed on the RSI, being like, okay, I need to buy it on this spot on RSI. No, you don't really need to do that. Although this would have helped because on every single coin there is this, which I called on 1 or 2 streams ago, that this might happen. But even if you don't have that, because it could get kind of confusing sometimes, this trend line existed on a 1 hour chart for 5 days straight. This is what I mean by sometimes you got to put in a little bit of effort on the charts and draw. You have to manually draw. What, just a little quick advice tip is that what helped me get uh, monumentally better at technical charts is I started manually drawing on every single chart that I came across. I used to do it on paper. I started ghetto style. I started on paper, pen and paper, and paper charts and a ruler because I was trying to figure out like how do I do this, right? So, but now you have trading view, so it's like, oh, you could just try and draw it 50 times a day. Like I'm looking at like 250, 500 charts a day. That's my job. And then I determine, all right, where am I going to buy and where am I going to sell? Am I going to hold? Those are the decisions I have to make every day for swing trading, investing, and day trading. But I encourage you, because the problem I used to have is when you, and this probably happens to a lot of people, is if you have the automatic indicators, you don't like actually do anything on the chart. You know what I mean? You just kind of be like, RSI is high, I'm not going to buy. That's not the real way to do it. Or, MACD, looks like nothing's happening, I'm going to turn this off. Right? A lot of people might do that. Or, we're up cross, so I don't need to do anything. It's like, no, you kind of have to put in the effort. This is what I'm saying. Master the price. Master the price. So then, what do I mean by that? Where's our resistance? Where's our support? Resistance at 50 bucks. Resistance at 48.55. Resistance at 52. So now I just gave myself 3 upside targets that actually make sense. It's a price cluster. Then support on the downside, 46 support, 44 support, 42 support, $41. I'm putting a lot because I'm trying to future proof the stream if anybody wants to rewind this. and take a picture or something, or do your own charting and take a picture of it, save it as your own idea. That's why I love TradingView, right? You could publish it, save it. I think you could publish as private, I think. Either way, you could save it and now it's your idea and you commit to that idea. That's how you get better at trading, right? If you don't do any of this work and you're chasing and just trying to make 1, 2%, and you're like, why am I losing all the time? And you're zoomed in this tight on the chart, there's so many reasons why you might lose, a trader might lose on that trade. You zoom out a little bit, you put in some technical analysis work, support, resistance, trend line, targets, actually use the box, position sizing, risk management. These are all the qualities of a trader and a technical analyst is try to get your 2-to-1 ratio. Always try to get your 2-to-1 ratio, and then you try to buy support. So this was our trendline support, which was created in the last 24 hours. So that's why you see once it hits the trendline support, day traders and algos, whoever put their buy order there, just bought it and it's done. We're up 10%, right? You don't have to chase it up here. You could have pre-planned this trade down here in this zone on like an 8 out of 5 minute, 15 minute. Right? So anybody, this is like kind of getting to way more advanced. I don't think people starting out are going to understand what I'm talking about, but you have to understand Bitcoin's multi-day sessions. Stock market is one session per day, one 8 hour or 7 hour day, right? It's 9:30 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. Crypto's open 24 hours a day, but there's several key spots of time where the two global markets are what's the word? Interacting with, overlapping with each other, right? So you have the America time zone going into the Asia time zone right now, 1 hour from now. You got Australia and New Zealand, they're up. You're gonna get Asia session. Who am I talking about? You're gonna get Japan, Hong Kong, South Korea likes to trade crypto. Philippines, Indonesia, like all these companies, Malaysia, you're gonna get those people trading, and then India is gonna trade, and then Europe's gonna wake up, and then they're gonna react to the price, right? So you could pre-plan this. And another pro tip and trick that I have for you guys is try if you're like, okay, I never catch it on time, then try using an extended trend line. Extended trend line extends into infinity. I love extended trend lines. That's what's the number 2 on my tool list right here. Because if you draw a baby trend line like that, you are not going to see this over here probably, unless you have experience, right? So use the extended trend line is the trick. Extended, right? All I have to do is connect these. Maybe not like that, but here, September 29th, what was that, 6 days ago? On the H and the 15 minute, and I lock it in, and then you would say, okay, you just watch this price. Yeah, yes, you could draw a whole bunch of trend lines like this. You draw a lot of trend lines, but I'm saying at least have kind of your one big or two big lines, and then just leave it there. Lock it in. I would lock it in like this. I lock it in like that. So then now you see this became a breakout setup play for 15-minute day traders. It's not random. It's uptrending, breakout attempt number 1, come back to support. Very smart, not smart, I should say that. Very disciplined support strategy type of day traders are like, boom, I am buying right there. Why? Trendline support. That's the only 2 words I need to learn and love in my life as a trader. Support. Support. I love support. That's what I learned in life as a technical analyst. Anytime you got support as a long, that's what you want. Shorting is different. If you're trying to short, you love resistance. It's the opposite. It's the inverse. Resistance is the name of the game. You love resistance. You love double tops. You love this stuff. And once it rejects down from that, you lose the support. Boom. That's what happens. Shorts. Everyone, experienced shorts know this. That's how you play the game. This is how analysis works. So if you're having just a hard time, like trying to catch moves, and you're like, I always miss stuff, I always miss it, is try to use longer term time frames, longer term lines, because the horizontal line is infinity, right? Alt H is infinity. I see people doing trend lines. It's not a bad idea, but it's, if you just draw a baby one like that is okay. You caught that move, but you might miss the next second setup. So try doing extended if you're having a problem with that. Extended trend line. It costs to draw another extended trend line, even though this one doesn't make sense. But here, right? This violates the rules on this side, but I'm not looking at the left side. I'm looking at the future, the right side here. So now you know. Now you know. For an example on Neo, okay, if we pull back down, it might pull back down to 44 right here. X marks the spot. This is how you pre-plan trades. 44 or 46, right? Why do I know this? Because there's the support on the left side right here and support here and here. So any of these three numbers is our support. Depends on how aggressive you are in the market, right? I would not recommend trying to play 10 support levels. You lose 10 times, you lost 10% or all your account if you have leverage. So please do not do that. But this is how you pre-plan trades. You got to put in some of that work, part of the job. Right, so 45 is that midpoint. So I would be looking at 45, 42 as a conservative long bull. If not, yeah, we could break out above this, right? But it needs to be a power move because the volume's been decreasing in volume for the past couple of days. So, I'm not saying, oh, Bitcoin $100,000 in 2 months. The highest I would say is like, okay, because we have that $65,000 Bitcoin resistance, that's our first target. We have to break that first before going to 70, 80, 90, 100K. So this is how you this is a little more intermediate. This is definitely a more kind of advanced, but this is how you use technical analysis to pre-plan your trades, pre-plan your risk management. If you find that you're chasing moves, if you're chasing Bitcoin, if you're chasing altcoins, that means you probably didn't do enough technical analysis, like manual work, and maybe you're looking at these like auto indicators too much, right? So maybe zoom out a little bit on your time frames and try to get a setup going and just draw this and then lock it in and commit to it. Lock it in, commit to it. I would maybe buy Neo if it comes down to here, 44 or 42. I'm committing to it right now, right? Hypothetical commitment. I'm not saying I'm going to actually do it, but if I was going to do it, I'm already committing to that, right? 45, 42, maybe cascade a couple orders down there, and then try to play the next bounce. Because it is kind of overbought, this is where we start to use some of these adjustment tools. This is a reversal signal right here. If you're very sensitive, you have experience, is we're starting to top out a little bit on these 5 minute, 15 minute, excuse me, on these 15-minute charts. So what needs to happen is we need to pull back on these 5 minute, 1 minute charts in the next hour or two, let this cool off, probably at the 50% retrace at 45, before we can make our next leg up. It could stop here, and right when Asia opens, those hedge funds, those institutions are like, oh, we're gonna buy right now, and they might, do a breakout setup. But that's how you really kind of get ahead of other people in the crypto market. But again, indicators are wonderful. I like the MACD. I like RSI. I love EMAs, moving averages. I like SMAs, moving averages. But you kind of have to do your. This is what, in my opinion, sets the experienced people apart from people who um, maybe are just starting, or maybe people who are just not that profitable. Is you have to put in the work on the chart. On Binance USA, what is there? There's like 60 coins. You could probably analyze that in a weekend, right? On the longer term time frames, it'll take like maybe an hour or two for someone starting out. But then if you lock that in, you just analyze the entire USA, most of the USA crypto market. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Here's another pro tip: is start on daily chart. Don't start on your 5 minute if you're a day trader. Don't start on that. Start on the daily chart. And here you see you have two big trend lines. It's just staring people right in the face. It's here this whole time. This whole time. And if you're very sensitive to the chart, you'll understand. If you have experience, you'll know that, okay, it doesn't always have to hit it perfectly on the downside, like this bottom yellow line. Okay, this would make more sense because it actually touched it. One little poke out is okay for a test, right? Some purists say never do that, but it's crypto, so I'm making an exception. Psychologically, it makes sense. Is we downtrended, we tried to break down, and no, we got some good bullish news and we're up. Then we hit here at resistance zone. Okay, El Salvador sell the news event. Establish the pivot point. So as soon as that happens, September 8th, you could draw this pivot point. And this was here for a whole year straight. This is what I'm saying. Somebody out there who's going to take 10% away, you know, knowledge from the stream, or hopefully you guys are absorbing more than that, is this trend line was here for 365 days. 365 days this trend line existed, right? And if you use what I like my style of extended trend lines, and then we use the candle body close, just adjust it in there, we would understand as soon as we start to get down here, this is a better level of support. Where we actually hit is right here, the $34 support. So you draw your trend line and you draw your support resistance levels like I was doing on my stream this entire time on Bitcoin. And now we just marked the exact spots where here there was a previous level of support resistance, tested multiple times, tested here and tested here. So it continues. This is why putting in the work on TA and understanding that support and resistance concept, what was previous resistance can become support. Okay, to make this easier on people, I'm giving a lot of free education right now. Usually I don't give this much education, but I want people to succeed. Right? Think about a building. Okay. I'm not gonna draw windows, but you have multiple floors in this building, right? Think about a building. You have multiple floors. One, two, three, four floors. Right? You could take the elevator up. You could take the stairs up, right? You could take the stairs up, or you could take the elevator down. But once you're on the next floor, right, the ceiling becomes the previous ceiling becomes the floor. Does that make sense? If you go up to the second stairs of your house, the ceiling is now the floor below your feet, like that. That's how you understand support and resistance. I like to call it the floor and the ceiling. Downtrending is true. Same thing. The ceiling, the previous floor from the previous level can become your floor. And if you have flash crash, you just pummel through the supports down like that. If you have a like that, if you have a uh, mega rally, FOMO rally, then you just pummel through resistances the other way. So that's probably what I just told you is probably one of the most important concepts of technical analysis. Understanding support or resistance is exponentially more important than RSI or MACD. Way more important. It's even more important than moving averages. Because if you just erase everything and you only do classical technical analysis, like I'm saying here, is here's how I would do it. How do I rewind here? Rewind, bar replay. So let's bar replay on September 8th, right after the El Salvador sell the news crash. I remember a lot of people were asking me, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? If you rewind my stream, I said basically something like this. We're going to pull back down, establish our downtrend. Then we might have a trend reversal somewhere like that. That's exactly basically what I said. And people were like, okay. But I said it might take a while, it might take like a month or a couple of weeks, days, weeks, a month, right? And then waiting, and it happened. But how do you prepare for that kind of thing on a day chart? This is now getting to more like swing trading investing. You look left on the chart. Too many people on their charts, they're zoomed in up in the face like this on like a 15-minute, right? They're zoomed up like this, and they send me these charts. I'm like, wait. Got back up to the day chart. Back it up. Look left and chart manually. So where do I see support? Okay, I see support right here. right here. Why? Because so many touch points here, 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 like that. So already because I have so much practice, boom, first thing I see is that one. Then the second one is where the candle wick right here. Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Let me zoom in. The candle wick on the El Salvador bounce stopped right there. So that's a support level, 43.57. Then we have our immediate support level, 49, like that. Then where do we have the resistances on top? 55. And right, it touches this candle wick as well, 55. Then 60, then 65. Okay, so now that we have all these levels and the super low one, 25, down here is bar replay it out. I'm gonna move forward in time. Okay, we hit the bottom support, try to bounce, failed. Let me make this faster. Oh, we're consolidating. Okay, we're rallying. Okay, we're rallying. Okay, no, no, no. We're okay. Crash. Sorry, crash, crash, crash. We hit this support. We lost it. Hit this support 37, which we already drew that. So you could have forecasted that yourself. Okay, then we bounce up where? Back up to the resistance, the next floor, the ceiling above your head, 43, 44. Okay, we're testing it. No fail. Back down to where? Support, the floor. What's happening next? Okay, we're finding strength on the support. A little bit of buyers there on that hammer candle wick. We lost that support. Bad. Retest. Fail. Bad. Okay, next day is good. Good. Then we rally, rally. Right? So now, do you understand that even before this happened, we drew the lines? We drew the lines. Okay, at the most likely scenario of technical analysis, right? The more touch points you have, the more powerful it is on a day chart. And you understand that you could have, if somebody's a disciplined swing trader, they would have put their orders not chasing the price after it went green. You chase the price, you're gonna get wrecked. In crypto, that everyone knows that. You chase the price, you're gonna get wrecked. Meaning you're gonna lose probably. The way to win in stocks and crypto is you pre-plan ahead, at least the basics of support, resistance, and trend, and you say, you think to yourself, where is the better relative spot of value? Here, support. Stop loss, probably 5, 6, 7% for swing trading, right? In this volatile environment, I would use like 6, 7%. Then you put your target for swing trading, 2 to 1, 14%. In 2 days, you got that. You would have got that two times here and here. You could have made 28% on whatever $10,000 position size that somebody's using for swing trading. I'm not doing futures because in America we can't do. There's no futures in America of trading. There's no options or futures altcoin trading in America. That's only international exchange like Binance. So we're kind of forced to do this. This is why a lot of American traders are swing traders. You could scalp, but then there's fees and slippage. Bitcoin has a lot of slippage between the price. We'll talk about this some other day. But you see what I'm saying? Is you could have pre-planned that 2 weeks ahead of time. That's how you increase your chances of winning. Okay. And another thing is you draw the trend line. I kept doing this on Bitcoin every single stream for the past 2 weeks. There is this trend line here, and I said, if we break out through this is the go green signal. That's exactly what happened in here. See, you tested it first. That's always a clue right here. This candle, boom, test it. Very suspicious. Sideways movement, test it. Second day, green, boom, we're in business. Here we go. And this comes from knowledge and experience. And then what happened? You the doji shooting star right at the resistance zone. So somebody's going to sell there. Then we keep rallying. Okay, this is a good lesson. This is a good lesson. Somebody sold there, but the key is it's not over. Okay, just because you get a little bit of red on the charts, don't run away with your account. How do we, if you're like, oh, I thought it was going to come down, but it went up. It did come down because it opened here, pulled back down, and day traders bought that up. The way to really figure that out is you have to go intraday. Look at the price. I might not be able to do that on the stream. Can I? Did it just stop? Yeah, yeah. So you have to bar replay it backwards. But here it would have showed probably something like an example like this is This is that doji, kind of big up and down on the same day, like that. That turns into a stick. Like I can't draw it, but you know what I'm saying. It's a wick, two sticks on the top and bottom. That's what this looks like decompressed on that shorter time frame. Um, and so, how do you find out it's going to keep going up? Is you look at intraday momentum. One pullback down red doesn't mean the whole game's over. It's where's the support and resistance again. Support and resistance. Just like if you never watch my streams ever again, the only thing you need to remember is support, resistance, and trend. Those three, if you draw those on every single chart you come across and time frame, you're going to be in way better shape than any other trader out there. Because I guarantee you, I know experienced swing traders, they have all their charts marked up and drawn on already, like a month in advance. Swing traders, investors, it's already drawn way ahead of time. Day traders, I know this guy on Wall Street. So in New York time, he gets to his office at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, then does 3 hours of charting before the market opens. So that guy is ready to trade and dominate and make money in the market. He does 3 hours of charts on like 50 charts before the market even opens. That guy is ready to win and compete. Versus somebody who opens their phone, right? Like I'm just saying, because I used to do this when I first started. I just look at my phone, just look at the price, like, oh, we're up today, we're down today, and then close my phone. Is how am I going to win doing that, right? How am I going to win only looking at a chart like this and be like, ah, oh, nothing's happening, and then or look at the RSI and be like, ah, oh, nothing's happening, right? You have to put in some work. That's who you're competing against. You're competing against algorithms who already have their strategies in place. Robots, cryptos, and stock. They already have their strategies in place. And then the professional technical analysts and the pro day traders, the pro swing traders, right, with their $1 million accounts, their $50 million accounts, they have the charts. They are completely ready by the time markets open. By the time market opens in 30 minutes, there's some people in Asia, they already have their charts ready to go. They know they have their 5 or 10 watch lists and their setups ready to go. So if you're serious about becoming a technical analyst trader, that's kind of that level of goal you're gonna work up to. Don't start at it. Don't like try to do that in one day. It's like trying to lift like 100 pound weights in one day. It's start off on 1 pound weights. What do I mean? Just analyze Bitcoin. Start off with Bitcoin, the king. And then what time frame should you start off? Start off on a day chart. Day chart, Bitcoin. Okay, I'm gonna stop with this example because I think you guys understand what I'm saying. Right? This is how I recommend. If somebody's like a beginner and um, not everyone's here's a beginner, just beginner, intermediate, advanced people in this in live chat every time. But if you consider yourself a beginner on TradingView, you're trying to learn more, is practice on Bitcoin. Understand the tools, right? This I'm gonna end in like a couple minutes here because I'm doing like way too much education. One day I'll do an education stream, but right, because people always ask me, what do I do? Or like, what's my favorite indicator? Or what's my favorite setup? But I think the more important question that I'm always curious about people is like, like how many charts have you drawn on? What did you draw support and resistance and trend lines on your charts? If so, what time frames did you do it on? How many charts did you do? Like where are you gonna buy? If it, you know what I mean? Those are the more next step advanced questions. If you buy here, where would you take profit? For example, if you buy here, where would you take profit? Some swing traders would take profit now. Maybe they sell 25, 50% of their position. I know people do that. Or some hodlers will say, instead of selling the position, okay, I'm going to move my stop loss up to here, 47, and I'm in a risk-free trade. I can hands off. I'm done with the trade of managing it for today, right? As long as we stay above 47,000, I'm in the green. I'm in the money. I could go do something else. Set an alert, set a text alert, email alert. I could walk away from this computer. If somebody bought down here at a safer level of value, right? So I hope that gives you some kind of idea into technical analysis, trade management on the more advanced level. Okay, my streams are not really for beginners, right? Because I'm not really teaching the basic concept. I like just doing analysis of real-time stocks and crypto to see if we can find some setups on the stream. When I'm off stream, I'm continually charting and planning my own trades and setups, right? But I'm always curious to see and hear what other people are thinking out there in the world. It's always good to keep one ear open on that. So, in summary, we did some analysis on Bitcoin and S&P 500 today, and uh, some altcoins we went through really fast, and then we did a lot of education here. So don't feel bad. I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad. I'm trying to encourage people and motivate people to put in some extra effort into their charts for the future payoff reward of properly managed trades for swing trading, day trading, and investing. All right, so we'll close here just with a recap of SPY and Bitcoin, and then we'll be done. Unless somebody has some last minute ticker request or question. All right, I'm just going to recap. So I just recap Bitcoin. Basically, we do have our trend reversal. I'm on a Bitcoin day chart, okay? Right here, we were in our downtrend, right? But this is our trend change reversal. We are witnessing it right now. What's happening though is we're not actually creating a large higher low, which could become a future problem. Because in Bitcoin, when Bitcoin rallies and runs, it loves to rally. And then nobody really likes to think about, oh, are we going to crash? Everyone's like, no, no, 60,000, 65, 70,000, 100,000, right? But realistically though, whenever you have a big run up, you have a big pullback as well. Big run up, big pullback. So if we're going to have a big run up, it's going to pull back at some point. Just watch for it though. So I'm going to tell you guys what I'm watching for in the next 24 hours as a medium term trader, right? I don't do crypto scalping because of fees and slippage. I'm a more medium term to longer term trader. Like I don't want to just capture this 1% right here. I want to capture this whole move, right? I'm sure most people want to make that 20, 30, 40, 50% on crypto. That's what everyone kind of wants when you're starting out. So what I'm watching for is resistance, 53,000, resistance, 60,000, resistance, 65,000. Those are the three big levels, resistance in the sand, our ceiling, so to speak. We're trying to test the 52, 53,000 in the Asia session about to start in 20 minutes from now and 1 hour from now. Okay. And we also have a trend line going on. But the always preparing for downside is smart because this Fibonacci still exists from the low to high here. If we bounced off our 50% Fibonacci, broke through and found support at our 236 level, does this make perfect sense now to people? It's not floating in the middle of the air. Everyone, experienced traders know, ooh, we have our support level here. Even if you didn't draw Fibonacci, you could still, once you saw 1, 2 wicks, candle wicks, is you take your pen and you go like that. How can I connect it? Right? Where you Alt H, horizontal line, boom, it makes perfect sense. Look how many touch points, inflection points there were. Now it's this one. Higher high, higher low. So we're finding our higher high. At some point it'll stop. The first stopping point is 53. If we pummel through that, then it's probably 55 and 60. But at some point here, we're going to stop, probably. And then it's going to pull back down. Where? To previous levels of support. We could fall back down to 48, 46, 44, even 40, long term, like 2 months from now, right? But I don't want to forecast it out that much. We just need to focus on what's happening right now in time. So I'm going to be very closely watching what's happening here. And we are starting to see a little bit of loss of momentum on the H4. So maybe another day or two, and we might see a pullback. On our 1 hour chart, we are starting to see some consolidation overbought, losing a little bit of momentum. So going into the trading day for the next 8 to 12, 24 hours, do not be surprised if we pull back. Okay, because Wall Street got a little too excited today. So we could pull back to 50 even. And the question is if you're a long bull, where are you going to initiate your trades? 50, or are you going to wait for a oversold level, which we might not get that for a while, but or are you going to wait for momentum, right? There's so many different strategies you could take. It's just know yourself, know your tools, know what works, plan for it, and then execute it well. Discipline trading. Because if people do not do that, they get all caught up in emotions and FOMO, and then if you never know what to do, that's like the worst spot in stocks and crypto trading. You always kind of need to know what you're going to do if it goes up or if it goes down. Have some general action plan of action. All right, so that's how I play Bitcoin and altcoins. And then S&P 500, a little different. We have 3 more days of stock trading left. So we have this double bottom. So I'm anticipating the lower high probably for next 3 days. So my target is 4404 up here, this little blue dot. If it fails for whatever reason, the downside target 4297 and then 4253. That's it. Simple as that. Then if you're wondering, well, I want to know more. Okay. Well, then you can look intraday. Notice that I'm not using any indicators at all. You don't have to, but it helps. But you just kind of understand what's happening with the price first. Boom. Okay, we hit our lower low. Got rejected our resistance. So it might pull back tomorrow, right? So you're literally playing between 4365 and 4284. So what happens is if we pull back, we might see this continuation like that in a bull scenario. If not, there's a longer term trend line here. So we tested that. We could fall back. But see, I'm putting in some manual work, support, resistance, and trend lines. This is what the pros do. This is what the pros do. And you can, that's how you're able to forecast prices out into the future a little bit. This way is if you don't have these lines and you're looking at it like that, it's very difficult to figure out what's going on. But then see what happens when you draw the lines and your support, resistance, and trend lines. Then all of a sudden you see setups. It like jumps out at you. It jumps out into my face right now of, ooh, this is a nice double bottom support level here, right? Nice. Someone had their 2-to-1 risk basically today, and they're done. They're done. Somebody had that 2-to-1 risk on leverage, and they're done for today. Right? It's just always when it's floating in the middle of now it's okay, it's like a coin flip. But you can see the moment. How you make it less of a coin flip is you watch the price very, very, very carefully. Intraday, pre-market, post-market, futures trading, right? Bitcoin futures, stock futures. This is what the pros do. And if it starts pulling back, it's like, all right, we might pull back in the morning. But if it starts pulling back and we rally, okay, then the upside is the target. Right? You put some of that effort in. But what I do have to say, the difference between S&P and Bitcoin, last thing I'll say is S&P is in a daily downtrend. This is confirmed, 100% confirmed by the price action. Bitcoin is the opposite. It's in a 100% uptrend right now. Daily uptrend, reversal. Okay, high, low, high. We just need one more higher low, and it's like, I shouldn't say 100%. It's 67 to 80% uptrend. We just need one more higher low and then bounce from that, and then it's definitely 100% uptrend reversal. So that's what I'm saying. We're going to go up with Bitcoin and sometime pull back, test it, hold it, and then go up again. That's what experienced traders know needs to happen for Bitcoin to continue a beautiful bull rally. Okay, everyone. So I've talked a lot today. I know I go over a lot of information, but I'm trying to help you guys, whoever's on this stream. Okay, I'm trying to help you by giving you free analysis and education because nobody did that for me. You know what I mean? Like I'm here to just tell the truth to people. You'll notice if you watch other people's streams on YouTube or Twitch or TradingView, it's like different than mine, right? I'm just giving it all. You know what I mean? I'm just giving all the truth. So if you have questions next time, just ask me. Go ahead. Uh, so again, I'm not trying to patronize anybody. I'm just saying I know what the pros and experienced people do on their charts, so I'm trying to relay that and show this is how more advanced technical analysis looks like. Okay, try not to make the mistake of like I saw somebody do this, like this is this trend line, and I'm like in my mind, that is not a trend line, right? Or like this, okay, nope, right? So you have to kind of learn how to do it right, do the tools right. At least 2 touch points. So again, hopefully you guys learned a lot. I talked a lot about analysis education. We'll try to get prepared for a plan of action, whatever happens on Bitcoin and stocks. And it's a new month. It's a new month. Just beware of the potential pitfalls. For stocks, it's stock earnings and Federal Reserve tapering. For Bitcoin, it is, FOMO, like too much FOMO, and then like a flash crash, right? You want to watch out for that in both markets. So thank you so much for watching and joining. Hope you have a nice rest of your day and night and week. And I'll see you on the next stream.